Good afternoon, teachers and students present. Our topic education, and we choose in El Salvador. The history of education in El Salvador. The early history our country has not evolved in the efforts to improve education. In fact, several documents coincide in affirming what during in colonial period El Salvador lacked adequate schools to enhance people in the Spanish language. Before one seven 716 years, according to the testimony of Archons Pedro Cortés y Laras, there was no schools in San Salvador. There's grammatic, reading, writing, or Christian doctrine to children. 1808 the years the total or education are disponible 186 schools and 188 teachers in country of 1016 fear 2007 inhabitants. What is an average of 1000 1098 18 people per classroom. Consider what the majority in the population was enhanced and the need to learn language of Crown. 1022 years. In first serious attempt to reform education in El Salvador, data back to October 1813 according to the first regulation for primary education. Every town and the country above have to have a school administered by department board with a country president. 1806 years education is declared free of religion, creed, and the states is made responsible for providing education to the popular class. 1914 during the administration of Maximiliano Hernández Martínez, the first official education reform in El Salvador took place. New curriculum the program were introduced during their first years are with its own objective the management of college was strengthening in an accelerated process of teacher training was developed as in the administration. The reform emphasis were competent. 1946 years during the administration of General El Salvador Castaneda Castro, the base plan was created, comprising the first years of secondary education. The was followed by 2 more years of schools. 1948 and 1090,015 A series of publications were distributed with information about the curriculum on the methodology used in the addiction. In the system, an experimental school was introduced where modern didactic methodology were applied. The teachers' training system in the normal school was also strengthened. Educational reform of 1968 years during in the government of General Federal Sanchez Hernandez and the Minister Education Walter Beneke established concept of basic education divided into their circles what impact promotion of education rural arts in addition in the backlog was increased with 1 years of the offer was diverse. First on one the most outing complex of this reform was creating of the education cultural television. A reform of the 18th process be a modest reform that concentrate some educational services in the country chains were made in territorial organization of the country educational centers. As a result of these members, 6 sub-regional offices were opened. Grouping Tonger cluster of schools here, the directory thereof had a certain positive effect of schools country relation as time.
Good afternoon, teacher and classmates. My name is Catherine Elias. I will talk about education and education in El Salvador. Education system. Education in El Salvador is a Basel constitutional reg and the state is in charging of certifying the educational demands of its citizens. Is it established that preschool and basic education will be compulsory for all and together will school education they will be free when imparting the state. Current structure of the education system. Current structure of the education system. The structure of the formal education system is made up of 4 levels. 1. Early children education. 2. Primary education. 3. Secondary education. Diversified high school. And 4. Higher education. Current education, the new edu education challenge. In current education, the teacher is manager of knowledge, but must be prepared to take on the new educational challenge, emerge with technology, with digital adaptation, and the training of different capacities for social development startups. How is the current education teacher must prepare to induce students to innovate knowledge also in new strategies and approaches that are adapted to the various characteristic of the student. Characteristic of current education is should not only focus on the assimilation of the curricular lore, it knowledge it be centered on a pedagogy that is based on teaching to face life and all that this representation. It is an education that is focused on students and their needs. So students must learn to think, make decisions, resolve conflict, live in harmony with the rest. It is also about edu- educating for life. So the my objective is humans development. What is advantages and disadvantages of current education? Advantages if this type of education development of skills that allow learning, guarding, impact diverse opinions. These advantages of this type of education: difficult adaptation to distance and virtual education. Virtual classroom in current education. Virtual classrooms are a new educational modality in current education that is developed in a complemented or independent way, to tradition, traditional form of education is arises for the incorporation of information and communication technology (ICT). Learn about the type of pedagogical dimension of the virtual classroom. Informatic practice key Maunis Kerek.
Good afternoon, teacher and guys. Continuing with exposition, the education. The education in the future will move face the new target offered by technology and improve the ways of producing, organizing, disseminating, and controlling knowledge and the ways of accessing it. For this virtual education should be considered as an alternative to expand the educational offer since it represents an important methodological change from the pedagogical and didactic point of view. The use the technology will also be considered in terms of how it can facilitate and satisfy educational opportunities wherever they are occurring, making them more accessible with either quality and reinforcing the effectiveness and efficiency in information delivery produced. The following charges have been raised for education: equal access, diversification as a means to reinforce equal opportunity, the potential and charges of technology, strengthen the management and financing of either education. The financing of either education as a public service essential of life. Virtual education will be based on the internet, so it is expected that the cost of access to them will be lower so that the majority of users benefit from their use. Acquisition of technological resources and specialty software. Agreement will be made with institutions from other countries that we offer virtual education with more advanced application. Teacher, tutor, and staff who will be in charge of managing the virtual platform will be trained. Investment will be made in proprietary technology platform design and content development and with increased in internet bandwidth. What can we implement? Program content. We can develop methodologies and devices that make advantage of available technologies and put them at the service of what we want to do. Thank you, teacher, and the guys.